Greetings again. We're going to discuss some improper ways of retaining teeth can cause TMJ problems, and that's a fact. If you make the retainer wrong and you let it go like so many of these cases did. There was a guy who specialized in TMJ work, and Dr. Holt, who I worked with for many years, had me go listen to this guy, and I did for 3 different times. And he came on with cases, the orthodontic cases, and he was saying orthodontics causes TMJ problems. I've got a little problem here. My voice is going with the rest of the body like that. But anyway, I went up to him one time and says, it's not orthodontics that's causing the TMJ problem. In this particular thing, that's true. But orthodontics can cause TMJ problems. But it wasn't the orthodontics. He showed cases one right after another, and then he said orthodontics causes TMJ problems. And I was sitting back there by an orthodontist that I had known for years, and I said, that's not true. And so after I went up and I explained to the gentleman why they were having TMJ problems after they finished the orthodontics, and he took it and wrote it in a book, and later I had to use his book. He forgot who told him about it to give a paper that I wrote on what retention causes TMJ problems. So let's get started on this, and I'll try to show you why this happens. Now, I want to show you how we make a retainer. We take a model. If the wisdom teeth or the second molar hasn't come through on a young person, we'll move around that so that it gives that tooth room to come in. And this is an 036 stainless steel wire, and I tell you, it's probably better to run this wire on up in here. And then we make the retainer kind of like a horseshoe, and it'll break across here. If you don't you bring them way on up to almost together, like up here. That's an 036 round stainless steel wire, and we build that in 2 sections. Now we join this wire here with an 028 wire, and it goes around here, and it has a loop in it, the expansion loop, and bring it on around and have the expansion loop, and then you solder that to that other deal. Now we take the model first, and then you paste your separator in on the model, and you put that in so that the acrylic doesn't stick to the plastic. And we use triad orthodontic appliances, and it's a light cured acrylic. And so that's what we make this out of. Now I made a few and had a deal across in the front here, right here, and we could straighten that out a little bit. That's not what we normally do, though. So here we've made this retainer, and we sticky wax it in here, and we come around and this side. And this one is, we're going to just make an acrylic anterior part, and that's not what I normally make here, so kind of forget that right here. Now here's what we normally do. This is an 028 stainless steel round wire. I tried the flat wire for a while, that's not good. The lighter wire coming around like this is all you need. And we solder the joint right here. And I've never had those joints break. We used to run it down here and we'd solder this joint and it would break. So we make this come back here and we solder it on the 6-year motor. And we leave that 6-year motor band on the teeth. When we take that out, we'll have to close this space right in between here, and we tighten this retainer up with this loop and bring this tooth forward and close that band space right there on the tooth. Now we take that and we put that in and we put this sticky wax on there and holds that in place. And now we're going to have to, but before you stick it down there, you want to run some acrylic down underneath part here. I don't show that. There's the solder joint. Now, you take this thing off, you got it painted and everything, and now you put this strip of this light cured acrylic there where the wire is going to be in this area right here. You take that wire back off and you put it in there, and now we stick it back, the wire here, and somewhere up in the front you're going to stick it in there and hold it in that position. Now you take a sheet of this light cured acrylic and just lay it over the whole thing and kind of force it down in there, and now you come in and cut it around the top here, like I'll show you here. That we cut through onto the teeth with a barred Parker, and now we've gone in here and we cut around these teeth, and we have the retainer covers this. Now these teeth aren't all the way in, so we leave a space here. And when that tooth gets there, you can add something to it to hold it in place, everything. And so this part right here is made, and we're going to take it and put it in a heater. Now we got a big heater that's years ago, but we got a smaller one that's much more efficient. And we would put that in there and cure that acrylic. And then we would load it in a box and get that person's name, their address, and then it had our name in there too, so they could, if they found this retainer. So we put that in. Now we have them wear that retainer for a few days. I don't want the bite to deepen very much. And now you come in and you put a little roll of acrylic on this retainer right up in here, and then you put it in the mouth and you have the person bite too. Now whenever you're making a bite, don't lean the person's head back and don't lean it forward. Let it be at a normal head position. And now you close to and let the lower front teeth make their indentation in this bite plate right up here in the front part of the retainer. And now it fits there, but if they bring your head back, watch your jaw move back or go forward, and your jaw wants to come out like a class 3 when you come forward. And you want it at a normal head position. And this 028 wire is best if it fits just snug on those teeth. You got an open expansion loop in here. You can shorten that down to tighten it up. If you need to get rid of this space in here, you tighten that up a little and it'll get rid of that bad space. Okay. Now you fit that in, and maybe you still have the bottom bracketed up. It doesn't matter. The beauty of this is, with brackets in the mouth, you can tell the person what you see is what you're going to get. And if you don't like it it is, tell me now before we take all this stuff off, and we can move it like maybe you want it to be. But don't go in and take this off until you have the person that wears it look at it, and also if it's a child, the mother and the parents, everybody look at it, and that's the way the teeth are going to be. Now this tooth's going to be a little longer. We can come in here and just trim it just a little bit right there to balance it up right there. Now the bottom has still got the stuff on it. We wear the retainer and the bite plate, everything, and then we'll come in and take the bottom braces off. And frequently we don't even make a lower retainer, but we may make one if there's some question about it. Make sure it's in a class 1 relation. All right. So this is in a class 1 relation, and we'll take it off the bottom. And so here's the little box with our address on it and our phone number. And you can put the child's phone number in the box too if you want to. And so this is the way we made our retainers. This is one where we just put the acrylic on the front of the teeth, and that's not, those things break off, and it doesn't do much good. But make it a bite plate, and put the bite plate in place. These are just some little deals along the way. Okay, I'm going to go back up here to this retainer that we made. That is the way we make our retainers. Now, we never put, anyway, I'm trying to draw on this. Don't put these clasps in here. You do not need any clasp on these retainers. Let me see if I can get that to square away. You don't need any clasp. If you want it to stay in, if it pops out, you can put a little bit right in here. Just put acrylic, and it'll snap up over that and snap in place, and that'll hold it. You never run a wire across the occlusal surface of the retainer. Let's come back here to show what happened. The reason this lecturer, here is a international lecturer, and a gentleman goes with him, and they spoke all over the country, and they were saying orthodontics is the thing that causes TMJ problem. Well, orthodontics were putting braces around the outside of the case, and they did not put a bite plate in there. And then they put a 3-to-3 on the bottom down here. It wouldn't let the lower teeth go back, and they had something that wouldn't let the upper teeth come forward, and they put it in there, but nothing to keep the bite from closing. As it closed down in here, the teeth bumped one another, and it pushed the jaw back, and so the person would have TMJ problems after they finished the case by putting a retainer without a bite plate. And the bite would deepen and go back, and it pushed the jaw back and pushed the anterior teeth forward further than they ought to go, and they would have pain with it. And so they were saying orthodontics caused TMJ problems. Well, orthodontics can cause TMJ problems, but it was not the cases they showed there. Every one of them was, they had no bite plate on the retainer, so the bite deepened. These teeth could go out, these teeth could go in, and the bite deepened, and the slope of the teeth in here pushed the jaw back, and it made this push the head of the condyle into the retrodiscal tissue, and every one of them did that. And I had one I had referred back, and they did this, took it back, opened it up, and put the bite plate in, and the TMJ problem went away. So I wanted to bring that point out. It was not the orthodontics that made it hurt. It was the way they retained it. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to close up here now.